Hi everyone, it's Chloe from Chloe's Creative Cards, and I'm super excited to be sharing with you today one of our brand new stamp and die sets. And this one is a little bit different because it's going to enable you to create beautiful butterfly shaped cards just like this one here. And this is what I'm going to show you how to create today, but I'm also going to show you how to add that extra little bit of bling and bling it up to the next level. So you can see how nice and easy this is going to be to make. So we're going to get started. All of the materials are listed in the description below and available at www.chloescreativecards.co.uk. So to get started, you are absolutely going to need the new Butterfly Sentiment Stamp and Die set. This awesome stamp and die set contains 5 metal dies and 1 photopolymer stamp. So you can see how you're going to be able to use these together to create these beautiful butterfly shaped cards. So I've obviously already opened mine up at the back. So inside there, you are going to have this lovely butterfly sentiment die set. So you've got your 5 different sizes of butterfly, and they are a really nice size. If I pop my hand in there, they are a really good size. You're going to be able to layer these up. You're going to be able to die cut your base cards with them for like gift tags and things as well. These are going to be fabulous. And then you also get the butterfly sentiment as well, which is this one here. So I've already popped mine on my acrylic block. I'll bring in the little piece of acetate to show you. So it says, wishing you a very happy birthday, may all your dreams come true, which is such a lovely sentiment. I'm going to pop that to one side, and I'm going to grab in my butterfly sentiment die, and I'm going to take the largest size. I've got an 8x8 card blank here. This one would fit on a slightly smaller card blank as well if you wanted it to. So I'm just going to line that up so my butterflies are slightly over the top of the fold there. We're going to tape that down into place like so. I always like to pop 2 bits of tape on as well, just to make sure that that's nicely held in place. Then I'm going to take my plates for my Gemini. So I'm going to use my base plate, my plastic shim, my die with my card, and then I'm going to pop my cutting plate on the top, and we're going to run that straight through the machine. As you can tell, my machine is very well used and the plates are very well loved. But yes, works absolutely perfectly every single time. So we're going to just grab that from the other side when that comes out. So if we lift that out, you can then see how we have got our basic butterfly shaped card. Just need to remove the tape, but there we go. Okay, so you can see how that's then creating the kind of base card shape. So I'm going to lift that out the way. I'm going to grab my die, just untape it from the card there, and I'm going to grab in a piece of mirror card. So this mirror card is actually from the dual colours matte mirror and glitter card pads that we do. So I'm going to be using the glitter card one and also the mirror card one on this particular project. I'm going to grab in my piece of mirror card, and again you'll see how beautifully this die cuts. I'm going to pop my die on there and then run that through my machine. Like so. And then we're going to take a glitter card there, and we're going to die cut the same butterfly from the glitter card, and I'm going to show you how to create this fabulous like 3D flying effect. So I'm going to lift that up and pop that to the other side. So that's that butterfly die cut, and we're going to do another one in that beautiful glitter card, and this is non-shed glitter as well. So as much as you rub that, no glitter is going to come off on your fingers. So again, we're going to run this through our die cutting machine like so. And then grab that when it gets to the other side. Lift that out, and then you can see how beautifully that butterfly has die cut. So pop that one to one side. And I'm going to take the slightly smaller butterfly, so the next size down, and we're going to die cut that one out of another piece of mirror card. So to do that, I'm going to grab the tape. I'm so thrifty, like to grab the tape from the previous one, pop that in place, and then run that through on our die cutting machine. pop that off. Away, and that then creates the layers for our beautiful butterfly shaped card. Now on this one, you can see I haven't actually added extra glitter to the layers in the background, but for the demonstration, I thought I would show you how to transform them so they look like this. They almost look like they've been encrusted with jewels, but that's all thanks to our fabulous Sparkelicious glitter. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab in my Art Glitter Dries clear glue. This is the glue that I use all the time, and it's got that brilliant little metal fine tip applicator that's going to enable you to get into all of the detail and everything like that. So we'll pop that to one side. And I'm also going to grab in one of our Sparkelicious glitters. Now, if you have tried our Sparkelicious glitters, you will know just how sparkly these are. I'm going to just take the lid off. I'm not going to do it over my craft mat, so I don't want to make a mess. But look at the bling and the sparkle that's in there. This one is called Tiara, and it is absolutely beautiful. So we're going to use that one just around the edges. So I have got all the layers already done. So I'll just show you how to do one of the layers. So I'm going to grab in a piece of scrap card to start with, just so that I can work away on this. Okay, and what I also like to do is I like to give them a little dust with an anti-static bag before I start to glitter, and the reason for that is the glitter can be very, very staticky. But if you just give it a little dust over with an anti-static bag, you'll notice that it doesn't tend to cling quite as much. You'll still get a little bit of glitter clinging, but it's not as bad as it can be. So we're going to take that Art Glitter Dries clear glue, and literally all I'm going to do is very lightly, not being too careful or precise, just get a little bit of glitter going all the way around the edge here. So this is just the glue that I'm popping on. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Tiara glitter, I'm going to sprinkle that over the top and tap away the excess, and then you can see how beautiful and sparkly that looks. So you do the whole butterfly and you do each layer, and then if we pop that to one side and then bring in the ones that are dry, you can see how you get the beautiful purple shining through. So I'm going to move this glitter out of the way, and I'll pop that back in the jar in a moment. And we're going to just basically build up the card. So to start with, I'm going to take my little base card, okay, and I'm going to take my mirror card layer first, and I'm just going to stick that down flat. So to stick that down, I'm going to use a little bit of my Art Glitter Dries clear glue. And I'm just going to scribble it all over the butterfly like this. And this glue is so super strong. That is what I absolutely love about this glue. It's so, so good. Okay, and then we're going to pop our little die cut on the top. And because you're using glue as well, another thing that I love is the fact that it gives you that little bit of time just for a little bit of manoeuvrability, so to speak, so that that can then just grab and hold. So that's then on your base card. We're going to take the next layer, and what I like to do is fold it in half like this, okay, and then we're going to stick that down. But to stick this layer down, we're going to use a little bit of Pinflair glue gel. So I'm going to run a little bit just along the centre, and then I'm going to squeeze out a big blob to go either side. And what the glue gel is going to do is it's going to give us that depth and dimension on the butterflies. So then we're going to stick that down, but allow the little wings to stay lifted. Does that make sense? So it looks like it's fluttering away there. Then we're going to take our next layer. We're going to do exactly the same again. Just carefully fold it in half. A little bit of glue down the centre. And a big blob either side. I really think I need to treat myself to a new tube of glue by the looks of things. Right, so then we're going to stick that one in the middle of there, like so. You can see how that's then coming really nicely together. So what I'm going to do now is grab in a piece of white card. Before I do that, I'm just going to give my mat a little dust over with my brush. I do like to try and keep as glitter free as possible, but as we know, that is pretty challenging, isn't it? So what I've got now is just a piece of plain white card. I'm going to take my anti-static bag and give that a little dust over. Pop that to one side. And then I'm going to grab in my stamp, and we're going to use a Wow Clear embossing ink pad. So that's this one here. So this is what you want to be using for all of your heat embossing. It's a really nice sticky ink pad, and we're just going to ink up the stamp like so. I'm really sorry if you can see the table rocking as I do this. I'm trying not to make it, but it often does. So there we go. Lots of tapping all over the image. And then we're going to take that stamp and we're going to stamp it down. So we're going to stamp this down onto our piece of card, like so. Then you want firm, even pressure all over that stamp. So sometimes you might find that standing up's a little bit easier for stamping this one, just so you can get the pressure on it. Then I'm going to lift that off, like so. You can see how beautiful that has stamped. I'm going to grab in another bit of scrap paper, and I'm going to throw over my embossing powder. So the one that I'm using is Purple Cosmos Sparkle, which is a really pretty one. This is one of the Chloe's Creative Cards one. Any of your lovely purple Wow embossing glitters would work for this project though. It's going to go straight back into the jar there. And then we're going to take our heat gun and just heat this up. So I like to make sure my heat gun's hot just before I pop it onto the image. And I'm just going to pop a tiny bit more embossing powder on that top area there. It just looks like I've missed a little bit. So before we heat that up, we'll just get some more embossing powder on. Yes, that looks a lot better there. Okay, and then we're going to heat this up. So I'll bring my heat gun in. So all we're going to do is hold that heat gun still, and then as soon as we see that embossing powder start to melt and change, I'm just going to move my heat gun over the image. This is quite a slow heat gun that I'm using as well. So just going to move this over like so. And all I'm doing is kind of looking for that embossing powder to start and twinkle. And then as soon as it twinkles, that's how I know that it's heated. So I'm just going to keep working round, heating this up. Sometimes as well, if you're working on a small piece of card, I use a wooden peg to hold it, because that just then stops you from burning your fingers. Because we don't want to do that. A heat gun does get very, very hot. There we go. Then you can see how nicely that has heated up, and you've got all of that sparkle on the text there as well, which is just lovely. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop that to one side, and I'm just going to grab my die. Okay, so this fits into the second kind of largest butterfly. We're going to pop this over the top like so. So you just want to get that in place. Tape that there, tape that there, and then again we're going to run that through our die cutting machine. Like so, and then we'll just grab that at the other side. And there we go. We're going to out. You can see how perfectly that has now die cut into that lovely butterfly shape. Again, I'm going to fold this slightly in half, like so, and we're going to stick that down with a little bit of glue gel. I'm going to bring you a little sneak peek in as well at some of our beautiful new little self-adhesive sparkles, which are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to use a couple of these just to kind of embellish the butterfly. So we're going to pop a few little jewels, just dot these about in the background, literally sticking them over where the dots are on the stamp. So that stamp is doing all of the hard work for you. And there we go. You can of course put as many or as few on as you like. And I'm going to bring my card in and we're going to stick this one down. So again, I'm going to use that little bit of glue gel. Put a blob there, blob at the other side. And I'm going to take a tiny bit more and just blob that in the middle. And I'm going to stick that down like so. And just hold that in place. And there we go. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to take some little strips of mirror card. So these are literally tiny little offcuts. I'm going to snip that in half. I'm going to stick that just in here. So it'll just grab into your glue gel. That then creates your little antenna on your card. Okay, and then what I've then done is taken some tiny little butterflies, which is the centre die from this set. I'm going to leave one flat and I'm going to fold one up like this. I'm going to take my glue gel, little blob on the back. There. And then again, I've got my little strips of mirror card. That one's a little bit thick. I'm going to put a slightly thinner strip down just on my guillotine. So these are like literally offcuts. There's nothing fancy about these at all. So I'm going to cut 4 of these little pieces down. Pick that up, blob of glue just on the back, that one there. And take my little antenna and stick them in there, one there. You can play about with these until you get them in the right place. And then of course you can be blinging these up with your jewels as well. And you're just moving a little bit because obviously they've not really been given time to dry. So then we'll stick that one in there, that one in there, like so, and that right there would be your finished card. So these just need a little bit of time to dry, but you can see how beautiful that then looks. You can either bling it up and add your extra glitter, or you can leave it slightly more plain by just adding in your extra jewels there. But there's how to use the brand new Butterfly Sentiment Stamp and Die set. I really hope that you have enjoyed today's video. And if you want to find out more, hop over to the website chloescreativecards.co.uk.